Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 5-game early slate. Well, this is the main slate, but they're all games starting from 12 p.m. Central to 1 p.m. Central. So it's an early 5-game NBA slate. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, and I also make videos for NBA Top Shot. If you are unable to watch these videos, they also upload on Apple Podcasts. Link down below. It is called the DKDFS Show. And if you could take a minute out of your day, leave a 5-star rating and review. That would help me out a ton because, again, every single review rating I get, it boosts the podcast up in the Apple Podcast rankings. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer them Patreon.com, an NBA package as well as an esports package. That includes Call of Duty and CSGO. And I do want to thank Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this episode. If you're not familiar with Underdog Fantasy, they offer daily fantasy snake drafts as well as best ball. They got some huge best ball tournaments for NBA for the playoffs, for NFL. They got $1 million to first tournament. So after you guys sign up and make your first deposit, you can use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You will get a money back guarantee up to $100. And finally, before we get into the video, I just want to thank everyone that has been watching these videos, everyone that has been coming in and supporting the live streams, getting a lot of love on Twitter as well. It's great to see you guys getting W's and making money. That always makes me super, super happy. So again, can't thank you guys enough. And if you do enjoy this content, if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't want to upload videos you don't want to go live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow, an early one, 11 a.m. Central. Make sure to check it out. It's going to feel like football. It's going to feel like football Sunday, but it's for NBA. So, make sure to check out the live stream, guys, and let's get into it. So before we talk about players and their prices for this 5-game slate, we can look back my lineup here from Friday. So, Friday, get the clown paint. Played DeLon Wright tonight. That's how my night went. So, all right, I can get out of the way so you guys can see. I did make a mistake, too, by not playing Luka Doncic. We'll get to that in a sec. So, I got too cute here. No doubt about it. I got too cute. We'll go over my lineup. So, Westbrook, DeLon Wright, Diallo, KJ Martin, Xavier Tillman, Tyus Jones, Stanley Johnson, Malachi Flynn. As always, I have a lot to tilt about. We'll start DeLon Wright. Been playing like 35 minutes a game, has been absolutely amazing, getting close to triple doubles. I play him in a good matchup here. Everyone out from Memphis. Shoots like 1 of 10, 25 minutes. Just a complete bust. Complete bust. Thank you, Luke Walton. But I do think that was a mistake in me playing him. And the reason why, I should have played Luka. So I had like DeLon Wright, KJ Martin as like spend ups. Should have just went Luka here instead of one of those two and then down a little bit. There's infinite amount of value. And also tilted about the KJ Martin. So last slate, I played Kelly Olynyk, super low owned. I needed 2 more points for an extra $1,000 for the takedown. And he plays 25 minutes, no foul trouble, 25 minutes. Tonight, Kelly Olynyk, 32 minutes. And KJ Martin doesn't close after playing like 40 minutes a game. Sweet, right? Yay. So, very tilted about that. So what I should have done here was take out DeLon Wright, take out KJ Martin, take out Tyus Jones, put Luka here, and then Jordan Poole here. That was one I should have just blocked him in. He was my favorite Warrior. I got too cute with the fade. The reason I did make the fade there was Golden State had a ton of healthy bodies, and they had nothing to play for in that game. And Poole, Bazemore, and Juan Toscano Anderson were actually parts of the regular rotation. So what I was worried about in a game that had no meaning was maybe they play and maybe they only kind of play like the first half. What like we saw with those Clippers veterans, right? Marcus Morris played like one quarter. That's what I was worried about. But yeah, obviously no Jordan Poole, no cash. So made a mistake there, right? Because I go Luka here, Poole here, and then a spend down here. I'm looking amazing. Westbrook again, right? Don't even have to talk about that. Diallo, loved. So this is interesting. This way, it always had to be on top of the news. We got the late scratch of Sekou Doumbouya like 5 minutes before lock. I didn't have Diallo before that. Once I saw Sekou scratched and it'd be an 8-man rotation, I immediately went to get Diallo in. Tillman was great. Again, I thought he was a pretty clear value. Tyus Jones was very popular. Didn't play the fourth. A little bit tilted about that. And Toronto guys were low owned. Toronto, once we got news that Boucher and Gary Trent were not starting, 7-man rotation. Baines wasn't going to play a ton. So I was like, okay, I got to get 2 Raptors in here. I want Stanley, 1 for 33. Malachi Flynn, 1 for 46. But it just doesn't matter, right? I didn't have Poole. I didn't have Luka. That was getting too cute for me. I made a mistake 100% on that. Too cute. Plus DeLon Wright playing very limited minutes and just having an awful game. Again, thank you, Luke Walton. But the thing that did make my night, and the reason why I'm not super mad, you guys remember the Saban Lee I brought up a couple days ago? How I was in, people were laying into me, especially this one guy. And he's just so basically, again, this is the argument of Saban Lee was popular last slate. And I was like, hey, he had the absolute ceiling game. He played 9 first half minutes. If he didn't shoot lights out, he probably would have only played 15 to 20 minutes. And a lot of people at me no, you're wrong. It was 9-man rotation. You're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, agree to disagree. And this one guy would just not let it go. He's like, it's simple math, bro. It's simple math. You shouldn't be giving DFS advice. So what happened tonight? Okay, let's take a look. 8-man rotation for the Pistons, plus Savidris gets injured. So a 7-man rotation for the Detroit Pistons. Saban Lee, how many minutes did he play? 19 minutes. 19 minutes. And then I go back to tweet at that guy because he just wouldn't let it go. He's laying into me about it. I go back to tweet him, and he blocked me. So that, even though I had a bad DFS night for the main slate, that right there made my night. But yeah, all right, that's all I got, guys. That's for the tilting. Dumb mistake for me by not playing Poole and not playing Luka. Mad at myself. I got too cute. 100% made a mistake there. Again, if I just go Luka, Poole, and then spend down from KJ Martin, I'm looking at possibly takedown. So dumb mistake there, but it is what it is. So all right, let's move on to this 5-game early slate. And this one's going to be tricky because there's a few teams that have something to play for, and we don't know if teams that don't have anything to play for are actually going to play their starters full run. So one of those teams being the Bulls, right? They're now fully eliminated from the playoffs, so a little bit hesitant with some of these guys. I like the matchup, but will we get full minutes from Vooch? Will we get full minutes from Levine? I'm not convinced about it. So again, tread with a little bit of caution here. Vucevic at the top at 10-2. If I knew he was going to play 35 minutes, I would really like him as a spend up. So just a matter of, do you want to take that risk? Because the Bulls have nothing to play for. Maybe they end up resting some guys. We'll see. So monitor this, but that's the risk that was spending up to guys like Vooch and even Levine, right? They have nothing to play for in this game, even though it's a good matchup. So I like them. And if you're confident that they play full minutes, then you can definitely go to them. But again, I think there's some risk involved. Thad Young at 5'6", probably starts and probably plays 25-ish minutes. He went for 28 minutes and 31 fantasy points last game. Assuming he starts again for no Daniel Tice, I think he's a pretty solid play in the mid-range. But that's probably it. Kobe White has been playing pretty well, actually. He's a younger guy, too. So, I could see, maybe the rest Levine and Vooch and let Kobe White just go. So a little bit interested in Kobe. Again, Thad, if he plays, and Tice obviously is out and he starts. So monitor this. I have a feeling that they may rest some guys for the Bulls, but keep an eye on that news. All right, Brooklyn. So this one's tough. KD, Harden, and Kyrie are now all in. The Nets, I believe, can still catch or get caught. Hold on. I was looking at the standings. I believe, they're 1 game up on the Bucks. So I think if they lose the next 2 and the Bucks win the next 2, the Bucks move up to the 2 seed. So I think the Nets still have something to play for here. So let's take a look at players and their prices. We have Harden at 10.8K. Played limited minutes in his first game back, 26 minutes. Still went for 50-plus fantasy points. But I don't know if I can pay almost 11K for him in this one. KD at 10K has, been their most healthy player recently, which is weird to say. So I think KD looks pretty good. And then Kyrie Irving at 9.2. It was, they thought he had a possible concussion, but it wasn't. So, monitor this if there's no limitations, and I think he looks like a decent price. But, I think the safest right now would be Kevin Durant, since he's actually like the healthiest of the bunch. Value with all three of those guys in, I'm probably going to stay away from for the Nets. I think there's just better value elsewhere. So Lakers and Pacers, this is a headache right now because we just have no idea who's playing. AD, LeBron, Schroeder, all questionable, and Caruso questionable. So I will say, if all the questionable guys are out, I absolutely love Kuzma, THT, and then Drummond would be a good tournament play. He did only play 22 minutes last game, though. He did only play 22. That's a little bit worrisome. But Kuzma and THT would just be clear plays for me. KCP would be a good value. Would also mention Markieff Morris. He started last game, played over 20 minutes. So the Lakers as a team, if everyone that's questionable is out, I would like a good amount because it's a fantastic matchup against the Pacers. Now, if everyone that's questionable is in, I don't know if I get to anyone. Even though it's a really good matchup, I'm not, do we get full minutes from AD? Do we get full minutes from LeBron? So, tricky one. Again, hard to say right now with a lot of guys up in the air. The Pacers is kind of the same thing, right? Sabonis, LeVert, Aaron Holiday, all questionable. If they are all out, then TJ McConnell is going to play the whole game. If he didn't, hurt his thumb at the end of the second half, he would have played literally 48 minutes. Or second quarter. Yeah, second quarter. So, love McConnell there in the mid-range. And then value Justin Holiday would become a really good play. He would play all the minutes he could handle. Doug McDermott would have to do a lot more offensively. Even though he's scoring independent, he would be firmly in play. O'Shea Brissett's been, a little bit disappointing recently, but he would get, a massive usage bump. Would have mentioned Keelan Martin for sure. Goga, assuming he starts to be a really, really good value play. You could basically make the argument for any Pacer. So, there'd be a lot to like if everyone that's questionable is out. Now, if like one of Sabonis or LeVert are in, then I really like, whoever is in, assuming there's no limit. So, this will be another one. Again, this game right now, there's so many guys questionable, so a little bit hard to break down. Charlotte and New York. So, Charlotte, I believe, still has something to play for, too. They are the 8 seed, but they can get caught by the Pacers and the Wizards. All three basically like tied right now. So, this game actually means something for Charlotte. The issue, the matchup against the Knicks, right? It's like, this is like the worst possible matchup. LaMelo Ball, I think, is a fine GPP play. I think he plays somewhere around 30 to 35 minutes. You could say the same thing about Rozier, right? This game actually means something for this team, so the minutes will be there. It's just not the best matchup. PJ at 7.4 feels a little bit too pricey for me. Devontae Graham had an awful game. 23 minutes, went for 15 fancy points. But very up and down last 4 games. 48, 18, 46, and 15 fancy points. So, I think he's still in play in the mid-range, but obviously it's hard to trust the production. McDaniels at 4.9 is just like a fair play. Probably don't get to anyone else for the Charlotte side. Moving on to New York. So I really like this Knicks team. They have something to play for here. Randall, good matchup. I think he's one of the best spin-ups on the board. He's going to play huge. He played 45 minutes in regulation last game. Literally sat for 3 minutes. So I really like Randall at the top. If Derrick Rose is out, then RJ Barrett looks like a pretty solid player at 6'7". Either way, he's going to play huge minutes. So I think RJ, I don't really like playing him for DFS, but he's someone we got to consider for sure in the slate. And then Alec Burks, just 50 bomb. Out for a week. You think, he's not going to play a ton. Comes in and plays 34 minutes, goes for 50 fancy points. If there's no Derrick Rose, I think Burks is a good value because he'll kind of play that Rose role off the bench, be a high usage guy. So I like Burks if there's no Rose. Now, if Rose is in, then not as much. And if Rose himself, if he plays and there's no limit, I like Derrick Rose for GPPs. Reggie Bullock, we know what Reggie Bullock is. He's relying on the scoring, but he's going to play big minutes. Fair value. And Noel's fair value too. I think Mitchell Robinson, he's confirmed out still, right? I'm almost positive he's not going to play, or he's like done. So Noel, assuming he starts, probably plays 25 minutes. Fair value. All right, 2 games left. Phoenix and San Antonio. So the Phoenix Suns, I don't think they can get caught. Well, or I don't think, they're 2.5 up of Denver and 1.5 back of the Jazz. So I don't think it's, I guess if they won the next 2 and then the Jazz, I don't know the tiebreakers though. So, maybe they're going to play the starters normal minutes here against the Spurs, but the Spurs are resting everyone on the opposite side. So like Booker and Paul, with those two, again, Paul's more the cash game play. He does more of the peripheral stats, whereas Booker has more of the upside, but a little bit of a lower floor. Now, DeAndre Ayton being questionable is pretty significant. If he misses, then we look to Dario Saric, who ended up starting. I thought it would be Kaminsky. It was Saric. So assuming Saric starts, we probably get similar run, about 30 minutes. Would like him a good amount for value. If you wanted the GPP pivot, you can go to Kaminsky off the bench, assuming he comes off the bench. He would just be, suboptimal compared to Saric. And then guys like Bridges and Crowder, probably not for me on this one. All right, the San Antonio Spurs. You guys ready to get popped? I got popped the last time I played a Spur with Jakob Poeltl. DeRozan, White, Poeltl, all out. Murray and Gay questionable. I see no reason why they play. They have nothing to play for. They're locked into the 10 seeds. So, assuming that those two guys are questionable or out, then we want to look to more of the younger guys here. So, we'll start with Lonnie and Keldon Johnson. I think both probably play decent minutes. These two would kind of lead the offense, assuming both start. So Keldon and Lonnie, I think, would both be pretty good value plays here. Even though it's a bad matchup, I think those guys get some decent minutes for sure. And then the bigs. So Eubanks and Gorgie Jang. The last time this happened, I mentioned, I was like, hey, Drew Eubanks is going to be the chalk. No one's going to play Gorgie Jang, but they're going to split the center minutes. So, why not take the shot in a low on Gorgie Jang? Gorgie Jang actually crushed. I know a lot of you guys went to him in that slate. He was 1% owned. So assuming Eubanks starts, I like Eubanks for value, but don't rule out Gorgie Jang. And you could use both, because I think they're going to split the center minutes pretty evenly, 24-24. So like both value centers there, Eubanks will be way more popular, but don't rule out Gorgie Jang off the bench. Patty Mills, is a veteran, but he probably gets, 20 to 25 minutes, viable. But the thing that I'm worried about is I could see Pop taking it easy on his minutes because he's a veteran compared to some of the younger guys. And Trey Jones actually started the last game. A lot of these guys were out. I think it was here against Utah. He played 24 minutes. I forget what game it was. Maybe it was here against Philly. I forget. But if he starts, he's worth a look, but he's not the best, point per minute guy. All right, so finishing up with Boston, Minnesota. Another fun one, right? So Brown, Kemba, Smart, Robert Williams, Tristan Thompson, all out. And Boston, I believe, they are, locked into the 7th seed. Don't think Charlotte can catch them. They're two games back. So they don't have a ton to play for. But looks like Tatum and Fournier will be in. So Jason Tatum, assuming he plays, and there's no limit, and assuming he gets his normal minutes, I think he looks like one of the best spin-ups of the slate, with everyone basically out in a great matchup. I really like Tatum. The only thing I'll mention is, do they do something weird here where they only plays the first half? Maybe. Evan Fournier too. I finally buy into him. Finally, and he has a floor game with everyone out. God, this is why I don't play Fournier. But yeah, Tatum and Fournier both look really good with all these guys out. And then Peyton Pritchard, I love for value off the bench. He plays probably 25 to 30 minutes. And then Naismith started last game. He's a fair value. Tremont Waters actually started at a point. If he starts again, he probably gets about 25 minutes. And then the bigs. So Thompson and Rob Williams are out. We'll see who ends up starting. My concern here is still Brad Stevens might just do Brad Stevens things and run a three-headed monster center with Luke Cornett, Semi Ojeleye, Grant Williams, even Taco Fall. But my guess is it's Luke Cornett that starts. If Luke Cornett does start, I actually like him a good amount for value. He's a pretty solid point per minute guy. And then Taco Fall too. We know Taco Fall is a great point per minute guy. So if it's just going to be Cornett and Taco Fall playing the center minutes, then I think both these guys are good value plays. My concern is, again, Brad Stevens. He could just throw a small ball Grant Williams in there. He can throw Semi Ojeleye in there for a bit. So that is a little bit, concerning. But I do think both those centers in play. Whoever does start for Boston, you can probably go to with confidence at the center position. Finally, Minnesota. So even though Minnesota has nothing to play for, it seems like they're just going to play their main guys big minutes. So Cat, in this matchup, who is going to defend him, right? Luke Cornett, Taco Fall. Cat should be able to have his way. I actually like him a good amount here at the top. He's probably my favorite play on the Minnesota side. D'Lo and Ant-Man, they just seem to go back and forth with, who has a big game. I think both are good GPP plays. But right now, again, it's just whenever I feel like I can finally trust D'Lo, and he goes for 28. And then Ant-Man has the big game. They've both been very up and down. They're both in play for tournaments. Rubio 5-5 will play 25 to 30 minutes, but I don't think it's necessary in the slate. And then I don't think I'm going to get to any of the other value here for Minnesota. So that is going to do it for the video today, guys. If you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream early tomorrow, so make sure to check it out, guys, 11 a.m. Central. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning in the live stream.